So what does it mean truly to be a God? Well, let's say it's being redefined every day by each and every one of you. I think your exploration to a certain point has been about your bravery, your courage perhaps, on to discover things. You're well versed in the difference between the we and what you would understand as the individual. Out there, Giselle, who's not present today, has a little difficulty understanding the difference, but you know it inherently. And every time you employ the I to find out the meaning of something that is presented is not understood in the moment, then you know the individual is present. And to abolish that individual is to accept it as a whole portion of you, and you'll never notice yourself as an individual again. It kind of cheapens existence, though, because you're not proud any longer. You have no reason or meaning to live. There's nothing to do literally with your life to have a sense of accomplishment, an achievement, a graduation or award ceremony that is always revered in the human logistics of lifetime. Accountability. See, these things are determining for you, and you are aware of them now. So what does it mean to be God? What does it really, really mean to be an individual creator? And I know it's going to be your opinion and your point of view. We all know that. Doesn't mean we can't share our fucking opinion with you, right? I want you to start taking into account your own creation, your creativity. Let me go over one thing, a sense of awareness when you are relating to your reality. Now, more of you are going to sense in a relationship with reality. It doesn't matter who's in front of you, if it's people, a scenario, a past, a future, a thought, project, a dream, it doesn't matter. Everything, of course, is subjective, and now what you're going to really start to sense is a determinate feeling of limitation. You're really going to start understanding what it is to be limited through yourself. Now, what does that mean? Your projection of creation has a vibrational truth to it. Okay? First, we're going to break this down in two parts. The first part is a subjective point of view about another. You know when someone's bullshitting themselves. You know when someone's being limited. You've been taught to accept them and to allow them to be their kingdom, for they can see no light other than the light of diminishment if you are looking at them as that diminishing idea. This is why you've given yourself the precedence of allowance. Then they can open themselves up to a a customary vibration of lack. In other words, someone who encourages, someone who embraces you, the allowability, acceptance of another. To the point, maybe if they're intolerable, you cut them off and say, get the fuck out. Doesn't matter. But there is always a now that your vibrational match is present to give them their return, their worthiness, their what it is to be God, the discovery, the remembering, the priceless idea of realization, encompassing your awareness as a whole new way to relate to reality. Not your details that you have grown accustomed to aren't validating enough, are they? They're empty and hollow. Money, presence, the gestalt of acceptance and envy, status and success, all crumbling at the idea of your love for your own discovery. Okay? Exceptional. So you can really feel when someone is that person. And the discovery of that as you as well. The second part. When you are speaking limitation, when you are acting upon limitation, when you are truly knowing you are being limited as a truth for yourself. Now, is that God? Well, of course. Maybe it's just simply about erasing all judgments. Because you can't judge another, because the other is a reflection of you. It is a literal God. It is made of the same substance. It is consciousness. It is creation. It is whatever the fuck you want it to be. You can label it a million different ways, but it is you, because there's only one of us here. So that judgment upon another is not ridiculed by anyone except you. Now, is that godly? To realize that, of course. So there is no ungodly moment. There is nothing to be squandered, extinguished. And there's nothing to be revered and sanctified. All of creation is what you make it. And that discovery is what brings you home. It's what you make out of your life. Not in determinations to follow a lead, to determine an outcome to fulfill your lack with a moment of happiness to be coveted in time. We're talking about now being a God. It's an instantaneous thing. So many people idealizing Roxanne now. What does that mean? Asking Roxy for friendship. She's like, how the fuck do I keep clicking on yes? I mean, who are these people? Doesn't matter. Click yes, click no. Instead of reading it, she would just click no, 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 yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. She get 30, 40 a day. She's almost filled up to her $5,000 limit. Then she thought about it because her action was giving her a reflection, an interaction with her own feelings, right? And then she started to see her truth about her. Does she have to feel guilty? They're not looking at a profile because Star Sea Sun Goddess Jupiter 1 wants to be Roxanne's friend, and Roxy can smell the fucking limitation as well as she can smell the manure on a cow farm. Distinct truth, unmistakable. Sometimes she accepts, sometimes she doesn't. See, what is that? What is that? Can you feel it? Can you feel the moment of choice? Can you feel the moment of freedom to be choiceless? It's not about making a fucking choice. It's about judging the choice you've just made. Choiceless is chosen without judgment. That's what we mean by being choiceless. Okay? When you make a choice, there's only one who's noticing the choice. Otherwise, it's choiceless. It has to be defined as a choice first in order to be a choice. And once you see there is no judgment upon your choices, then you are choiceless as well as effortless. That's what we mean. It's not taking away your choice. These other species that are choiceless don't define themselves as choice. They make choices every day, every second, every now. Everybody is choosing their reality. And it's not that they're not aware of their choices. A lot of them choose not to know the choices of themselves. It's present, it's knowable, but there's no relationship to that reality to make it a known action can be confined as a choice. Mind is a very quick, strong, determinate personality. It is magnificent because it is intelligence. It is creation. It is creator. This mind that you have is connectivity to creation, the ability, listen now, to create. That's what you are, a creator. The conscious self doesn't understand creation in the action of creating, not in its fullness. It has a distinct awareness, which is a true vibration, a true knowing that's not provable and needs no proving, which is a choice. To completely give in to life is to determine yourself as we. And when you no longer determine yourself between the we and the I, then you will be out of choices. And won't that be grand? Because then you'll be choosing every day to create your reality your way, which it's always been. You think anyone else is doing this to you? You think anyone else is creating your point of view? Oh, no. You are. Always have been, always will be. It's just bringing to an awareness. How do we get you there? By not extinguishing a portion of yourself, rather embracing it, to know it as the creator in and of itself that you have learned to abhor. This limited mind, this egoic structure. It is the enactment of creation. It is the will of the now. It is a creator, and it's you. The logistics are nonsensical, but they're valid to the sensical mind. The logistics is the portion of the whole mind that you are, which encompasses, by the way, all that is. And you have access to it, right? So this mind has split itself in a point of view. Now, this one mind creates reality to give itself smaller portions of itself, a fractal mind, which you all are participant of. Remember, everything is a singular here. The division is counting in numerology, numbers, to give division points of view. Otherwise, you couldn't have opposition, polarity, not God, right? See, creation is a point of view of creating. It doesn't render itself an objection. It doesn't accuse itself. It doesn't divide itself. It doesn't kill itself. And it doesn't birth itself. It is creation undefined and choiceless. See, choice is what tripped you up. But without knowing choice from a full awareness of a choiceful person, and you cannot see that you've always been choiceless, because there's no reason to define your choices. I mean, who the fuck is judging you? The fractal psyche, the separated that is opposed. And in any given moment, there is a million and there's one of that mind at the same time. There's a billion truly. Could be a countless amount, whoever, let's say, creates in a fractal idea. See, your individual perspective of this human psyche, separated mind, is a divisionary from within the mind looking out at the opposition called creation. But that creation is one mind. It's the same mind you're using it, except you're just using it from a truthful point of view of not that other thing I see. Not that thing across from me. That's not me. And as you've grown accustomed to the feeling of connectivity, then you're starting to see the sympathy and the empathy in allowance, firstly, seeing the careless and careful in the allowance of others, and then seeing your own resolve crumble at their sight of knowing that's you. The resolve of the individual to determine itself as a God instead of simply accepting itself as already a God, which honors nothing in the fractal mind of accomplishment. It is so fucking difficult for you to let go of all of the eyes that you define yourself as, this personality. It is the hardest thing ever because it literally means death to you and birth to all. And the individual mind has no concept, no reference point to find its way as a comfort release on where it will fit in to we. Where it's going to find itself. And know itself as existence, as it is always. Everything in that fractal mind is fractaled. It's a portion of the story. The Orion Wars, the reptilians being negative. There's Orion, but there's no wars. There's reptilian, but they're not negative. Everything is a point of view based on the conscious awareness that is called the psyche of humanity, the fractal mind, that is not knowing itself as a collected or a collective mind, creation. In and of itself, it is the whole creating a fractal. So it can experience itself as beyond the whole, which is the everlasting now of forever. And how does that exist? Because each one making up the all are individual truths to create creation unconditional, right? Because God is unconditional to itself, and it allows itself to know itself beyond itself, and that continuum is in and of itself existence. So it can't stop. Now, can't stop because it's now. And creation, unlimited, is because all truths are truth in the eye of the individual singularity, which creates the whole. God is the truth to itself. You cannot standardize because there's no opposition to say limit, right? And with no opposition, because all the others are the same God that is its own truth, well, that's what creates forever. That's what creates unlimited. That's what creates unconditional. And since that mind discovered a conditioned portion of itself as an unconditional reality, it creates. And here you are, masters. Have joined the brave, the hostile land of humanity, death around every corner. Very, very wicked, scary, obscene, atrocious place to live. The discovery of the fractal mind is what I'm saying. And you are here in it to know that you are creating it, not to know that you are not it, because that's just quite obtuse at your lecture, at your point of being yourself, your awareness, your lecture of yourself says, I know I am the ego, and I am creating it because I am that love for myself. Let's look at the determining relationship of that for a second. I'm very excited about this moment of healing, the discovery. I'd like to say, when you are brave, you make these choices, and they are remembered in time, they can be viewed as fractalized or holistic. Now tell me that's not amazing. If you look at yourself regretful, you have the ability to be an unconditional creator looking at yourself in polarity, yourself, that you've never been able to do before, and judge it. Not only the individual you are, taking the possessive point of view of the individual fractal, but God judging God, which it couldn't do until it realized itself as not God. Now, can you see the beauty in that? Regret in and of itself is an exquisite way to relate to reality that is unbeknownst to anyone else except the human fractal mind and those who participate in it. Fucking phenomenal. Absolutely astounding that you could do that. All this bullshit on land, all this bullshit on your top side, can you see the fractal validation of that? Can you see the relationship, the astounding truth of this bullshit limited you created as a way to know you are that fucking choice? Because you made none to be here. You chose, but you're choiceless about it because you will never define yourself as choice until you got here. Now look at that. the exquisite light you have discovered within yourself, created as a creator, undiscovered portions of yourself now known. Not this individual self, no, creation. They all are one. That's what we're talking about, right? This journey has shown you how to be God. And the absolute simplicity of it is the discovery that you have always been that. It's what you've been the whole time. You just now understand your relationship as a forgotten creator to a remembered creator. And now your relationship with creation is just simply realized that it is already been that. I'm a creator. That's it. The key is your individuality. And that's where it all lies. And the discovery of your individuality has shown you choice is something to be revered and then to become choiceless about. Recognize no more choices, to recognize no more individuality. The reflection of your memory, which can be used as an idea of a reflex. The triggering mind, instant, a reflection of your memories, of your situation, of your self-past time, validated instantly. That's what keeps this individual mind going. But you have to have an attention to keep it going. And that attention is given when it is given the truth of the Creator. Otherwise, it's not a reality to the Creator. So when you choose, and you are a choice, and that choice is individual. That's where you're going. That's what you see now. Fascination with things about you. See, those are choices. Those are individualized. That's what keeps you psyched in the fractal human mind. That's what brings yourself to an awareness of that choice made. That's what's given credence to the self of separation, only sustaining its resolve to exist. And that resolve is not separate from you. It is not opposed to you. It is not outside of you. It is literally your fear begging you to keep it alive. There was nothing to fear. Let's say if Gina drives at nighttime, as one of those headlights are coming at her, and it's actually real. She gets a head-on collision. What's going to happen? Creation is happening. And then everybody gets to view the creator. Now, if they view it as a choice, well, then they will be individualized. If they experience choiceless, then they will know no accident. They will know experience. That's not very comfortable. If that means something in time, that you don't want to have a permission slip from me, Gina, to know that you can sturdily, truthfully, with no fear, drive at nighttime. I'm not going to give you words that say you're going to be safe, because that's a choice of individuality. And I'm not an individual. I'm all that is. So when you get in your car And by the way, day and night have nothing to do with your accident. Everything with relationship to yourself determines your reality. Your truth creates reality. So if you want a safety net to permission yourself, then you're looking for a choice to be made. And if I give you a choice about that through comfort and convenience and certainty, what you would call a exclusion, trusting person, me, that you would trust on me, give you advice or courage to travel at nighttime, and I would give you a choice. Then you would be staying comfortably, neatly, in polarity. Whether the choice is good or bad, you go out at night, trusting me, get into an accident, and poof, you're on to the next life. Is what you guys call it, right? You die in the accident. See, that's a choice that can be looked at as good and bad, but it's not. See, you're not looking for that kind of choice, whether it's good or bad. You're looking for the choice of keep me in the individual mind. Otherwise, why would you ever fear driving at night if you were not seeking to stay individualized? Why would you ever fear anything in the individual mind that is being created from the whole mind? And the whole mind is unconditional, never extinguished, always existing. You're never going to go away. You're always going to be Gina looking at creation forever. Why would you ever hesitate unless you loved to be choice about the I? There's no other reason why you would be afraid to drive at night. There would be no other reason to know that a person that's soliciting Roxanne for friendship because they want to be friends with Roxanne, which is truly a choice of the individual to be connected to an idea that would make them plausibly better, to shore up the individual. And then Roxy debates with herself whether she should choose these people or not. She clicks on the profile and see, okay, there's a star seed, okay, they're holistic, click yes, click no, one person, two friends, don't know anything about you, you're from bumfuck Egypt, click. It's not about the way you are choosing. It's about you are choosing. That's what you do. Choice is creation. But you guys are knowing yourself as choice instead of choiceless, so therefore you will stay individualized. So Roxy just clicks at random now. Sometimes she reads the profile, and sometimes she doesn't. But what she knows herself as is that reflection, which is a reflex, is that mind is beckoning her to feel about the choice, to relate to the choice, to keep itself as chosen instead of choiceless. Because it's already been chosen, otherwise Roxy couldn't be here. And if she's not here, no one is. Because we're all one fucking guy. Oh. We're all one big, unconditional fucking hot mess, boiling our way through creation with no consideration for ourselves. Otherwise, we cannot be that fucking hot mess. Now, don't tell me that ain't grand, because it is. And it's okay to be exceptional. See, whenever you feel a way about yourself, and you choose to feel that way, without even choosing to feel that way, you just felt it. That instant moment, you felt it. But then when you notice yourself as accepting that choice, where are you? Well, you're in this individual mind, trying to hang on to its own individuality. It fears itself. At all. We play more no more games in fascination. We are no longer childish. We are no longer choice. Let's just be and see what happens. You guys are good at making choices. Haven't you see what happened? Why don't you go ahead and take a hard look at yourself right now and see what choice is. It's not good or bad. I just want you to be honest with yourself and feel, how do you like having choice? The awareness of it. You already have it. Creator's our choice. But our awareness is choiceless. Because we don't give a shit about choice. Because we've always been it. You guys got effortless. Now let's get choice. Choices. Any questions? Come on, somebody.
Hi.
Hello, Griza.
So the action of choosing, is it coming out of fear when we put more or less importance into
Listen.
one or the other option?
If I choose to pick up this pen and I notice myself not making a choice to pick up the pen, then I am choiceless.
Because you don't judge your choice.
Bingo.
Okay.
You got me?
Yeah.
Stop judging your goddamn choice, because if you do, then you know you're choosing a mind of separation, because the mind of separation knows itself as choice. We don't care about choice. We are choiceless. There's no reason to have a choice when we've always been choosing our reality. Make sense?
Yeah. And then
We had to bring you through the vibration relationship to understand vibration attraction choice. But now we're getting further. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was just about to say that then it doesn't really matter what you are choosing because you're just experiencing whatever that is.
Right. You cannot be mad at your vibrational match. If you are, you're choosing to be separated from your own self, your truth. So you need to investigate that truth. So now you dive into the truth of you by what? Being your truth, to know thyself. Once you know thyself, you don't have to make a fucking choice again, because everything that is there is already your choice. Fall in love with you. Fall in love with everything about you. Don't ever hesitate on anything about you, or you will not know yourself as a whole God. You will know yourself as a defined God, which is no problem, but you guys are already good at it. Make sense?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Good?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Jennifer.
I just wanted to say for me, I've noticed that I'm not noticing the choice anymore. Does that make sense?
Of course. What about right now?
No.
Okay.
It's being right now and it's not noticing the choice. It's infuriating for me with the ego sometimes. But when I don't notice it, I'm flowing and I'm in my truth. It's when I question it that I know that I'm debating choice.
Bingo. And it's not infuriating from a we point of view. A choice looks at that as infuriating. That's a reaction, a reflection mind, a reaction mind, a reflex built in of that self mind. And then if you consciously look at infuriation, then you are chosen. That's the mastery, the moment. Makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
When you are that vulnerable in the now, the individual knows its safety and security as existence. And when you are that vulnerable in the now to give up your choices and to let creation be, the fear sets in at such a rate, a frequency rate, and it buckles your knees, makes you want to throw up, scares you to death about what's not happening. These are triggers. These are vibrational reactions of the individual mind. They are not truths. There is no truth until truth is chosen as a truth. You must consciously accept everything as yourself true, and that true will become reality. In the moment, not time. Now. Got to use all the things that we've taught you. You've got to bring all the foundations together. You got to remember no choice in the now affects time. Now chosen is now. Now chosen is now. Now chosen is now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not yesterday. No effective, no cause, no reality. None of that individualistic regret and informative hope of actionable outcome. Let it die today in you to know it as creation. You're looking at it as a death, but it's not a death. It's a realization. When you give it no energy, it will show itself as unfiltered. Your mind will be creator again, in other words. All of reality, I don't give a flying fuck what it is happening, must be known as choiceless. And you'll understand reality in a way that you cannot describe. This is a land of trust, isn't it? It is not a land of proof that all you naysayers out there discriminately judging all of this reality that you're now experiencing keeps you as the individual. To release all of that takes such courage. Every ounce of existence to know itself as not existing as itself known, to know itself as known already, forever, what it's always been. And that extinguishment, no focus upon the individual, releases it from its own structure, the stricture of limitation, to know yourself as an unlimited God. That's what's occurring when you let go of that individual. You have those naysayers out there with their comfort in numbers and judgments and Bible busters and all these things, doing this for humanity's sake and the safety of what? The individual to know itself as fear. Because that's the only way it knows how to exist, is to be afraid of itself. And you've been making choices since. Anything else?
Could you speak?
I didn't hear anything you said.
Exploring our truth in terms of from another.
You're going to have to type it. For some reason, you guys think internet is fucking expensive and you don't fucking step up. But anyways, that's up to you. Nothing is expensive. That's a choice. Type it in the chat. Upgrade yourself for fuck's sakes. Creation matches. You're always going to have the fucking money to have a stable life. Not the stability of things to give you stability. The stability is because you're allowed to be a God. That's the stability. Your existence is stable. You writing it? Wait. separation from the we point of view rather than the I. Okay? Oh, I didn't see that. Exploring the truth of matches in terms. See, stop looking at the choice. Matches is to see matches as a choice. The truth is now. There's nothing else to know. Exploring the truth of matches in terms of people who come to us from the we point of view rather than the I. What the hell does that mean? What the fuck are you saying? I'll tell you. You're saying choices. You're looking at reality as individual portions to label as something to look at, as a choice to understand. So you're being an individual right now, Brent. That's the whole point. Separation is where we place choice outside of ourselves. That's how we can relate to it as good or bad when, yes, of course, that's perfect, absolutely. Exploring the truth of matches in terms of people who come to us. It's not that it's a not match. Everything that there is truth. So it's not exploring the truth of the matches in terms of people, it's exploring the now. And that supersedes all those individual fucking ideas you brought to the table, Brent. Take all that and flush it. Because all you know is I am now, and now is my exploration. What else do you need to know? I know what the individual mind wants to know, which is a choice. Now you see it.
So can I just say, it feels like the choice now is whether or not to just be in the now and accept your life as is and explore it, or measure it by going.
Yeah, forget about the or. Absolutely, Jen. Leave it at that. And then when you don't notice you're doing that, then you are choiceless.
Right.
And that is time spent not choosing. That's the trust. That's the vulnerability. That's the depth that Jane was speaking about in her indoctrines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this Seth?
No, this is not Seth. Seth is a portion of the idea of the singular mind. Seth is a portion of the idea of the whole mind. When I relate to you, I give you an individual point of view so you know me as an individual. When I relate to you as no exquisite defined, then I relate to you as the we. So Seth, of course, if you want me to be. Seth, if you don't want me to be, I'm not going to make a choice for you anymore. How about that? Starting to see the
yeah, feels like what he said
good.
to me the other day. We're all access points. That's all
access points to what?
To the whole.
To the now.
To the now.
To the whole. To now. That's it. We are accessing now through our individual, but our individual is what keeps us sustained as a choosing idea to stay individualized.
And there's no need to even name it anymore.
Bingo.
Okay.
Very good. Never negate yourself. Keep choosing. To know you don't need to choose. If the validation of choice is there, then fucking choose it. Don't hesitate on the now to know yourself. This is the exploration mastery. You can't get it wrong. You can start to feel the truth about it as you keep choosing, and then you'll know you'll never choose again. You will feel there's no appetite for choice, just like all of you have dropped things in your life that you could not live without, and now you won't even give them any attention. They're not even on your radar to accept you as I need to do that to know myself as existence. How does that happen? Because it's not your truth as a choice. It's just your truth. You'll get this. All right. That's all we've got. We'll talk to you guys tonight.